Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bryan with Game Brigade, and today I thought it would be a good idea to dive back into Marvel Zombies, Zombicide Marvel, so that we could kind of talk about the pledge levels, what value I see in each type of expansion, and maybe where I would land if I were to be pledging right now. And I felt like this was going to be helpful because a lot of people commented in the last video that they wanted a follow-up video for that. So this is kind of be like a breakdown part 2 of Marvel Zombies. So without further ado, let's hit it. Okay, so Marvel Zombies, a Zombicide game. To recap where we were at last time, I was super hyped for Marvel Zombies. And looking at the pledge, or looking at the campaign and its initial launch, it was tempered. I was not excited. I felt like CMON really dropped the ball on how this campaign was kind of launching and their direction. I don't know if they what they were thinking originally in terms of their expectations, but they definitely course corrected very quickly. It's still, I think, underperformed. I bet you they believe it underperformed. But at least they course corrected enough to give us a campaign that I think is very interesting and worth diving further into. So if you are new here, if you haven't seen any videos, there's plenty of videos out there, but if you haven't seen my previous one, Marvel Zombies is the newest Zombicide version coming to Kickstarter or on Kickstarter. And the big difference of this version, I guess the hook that they were using, is that you were going to be playing as a zombie this time rather than a survivor. So your core mechanic would be trying to sedate or fill your hunger so that you're not going to go crazy. So you're going to be eating bystanders, and that's your main goal. So this undead pledge coming in $130 is basically that, playing as a zombie. And so you're going to have the character models are actually going to be these green models. And as you get hungrier, you're going to have more powers, but you're going to have to manage that by eating civilians and whatnot. So that's that. I mean, I'm not as excited about zombie mode, in my opinion. But then we had the Resistance Pledge, and this is the one that really hooked me because I wanted a Zombicide where I could play the superheroes that I wanted to play, but I didn't like the idea of going against what I believe these heroes are. I mean, maybe I'm kind of dumb, but like some of my favorite characters are Captain America and whatnot, and it just seemed weird for Captain America to be munching on people, but whatever. So in the Resistance Pledge, you're basically going to be playing as the heroes now, going after the zombies or zombie heroes. So this mode is what really excites me. Very exciting. It also brings in the X-Men to the universe, which is great because we're not just looking at the TV show Marvel, I guess you would say. You're wrapping in the whole bunch from the whole franchise. So this one is great. And what's really cool, and I don't know if I see enough people talking about this, is that the game, the crossover compatibility, the zombie heroes from Resistance are playable in the zombie mode, and the heroes from the zombie mode are playable in the Resistance pack. So those are the two main pledges. We still have an additional original pledge, which is the Galactus pledge, and this is going to be a Kickstarter exclusive one featuring the giant Galactus with the swappable heads. It also comes with a little mini here for Silver Surfer in both zombie and hero form. And this one is basically a standalone mini adventure where you're basically trying to defeat a Galactus. In my opinion, I'm not interested in Galactus at all, although this is the only time you can get this. But he's just so freaking tall. I don't think I'll be playing the mode that much to warrant the price tag of Galactus, but there's still definitely people who are interested in this one. And so now they're going to be coming down to where I think the true value is. And I didn't want to initially come out and start saying where I think the best value is. because I want to break down these expansions a little bit more to kind of show why I think certain expansions might be more worth it. So if you're interested in getting X expansion or some certain expansion, that might be helpful for you. But I do believe the Hungry Pledge at 430, in my opinion, is probably the best pledge to get overall. You're going to get both core sets, which we already talked about, the Marvel Zombies core set plus the Resistance core set. Plus you're going to get all 5 of the standalone expansion sets. Now, some of these I think have more value than others, and we'll talk about that. But we're also going to be including the Sinister Strike. Now, the reason why I think this pledge, and they already kind of outline it here, a $40 discount on a $470 value. They're kind of outlining it, but I do believe that is very accurate. So if you were to go to just these 2 pledges, the one up here, the $240 one, I believe, Resistance Pledge, and add on, say 2 or 3 of these, you might be saving yourself a little money, but it's going to be close. So that's where you have to start deciding what one is best, because in terms of true discount value, this will be the best. And it shows down here all the exclusives, but this is kind of misleading because it almost shows as if this is extras you're going to get by getting this. But these are actually ones from individual boxes that you could get if you were to get those individually. And then for $615, they have the Devourer pledge. This is the Galactus plus the stuff we just saw above. And it includes the Artist Special Edition set, which is not included in this, as well as the, I don't know if it includes the dice. It doesn't include the dice. So this includes the artist set, which we'll talk about a little bit further. And then there's some extras like dice and plastic tokens that you can add on even further. So let's skip stretch goals for now. We're going to come way down here and we're going to talk about these expansions. So the optional buys, and then we'll talk about the stretch goals and why I think just in general, Marvel Zombicide is probably worth picking up in some form, either now or ordering it through your LGS, but you need to get the Kickstarter version in my opinion. So for 180, you can get the Galactus Devourer. As I said, this is going to be a standalone mini expansion where you're just involving a Galactus and you're trying to defeat different parts of his body before he can unveil his master plan. So you can see he has his arm and his head, and characters are going to be going up him. I am not interested in this at all. I know there's players that are in that, but in terms of excitement level, I'm not able to generate what I think you guys might be looking for because it just doesn't seem worth it for 180 plus the shipping to be able to get Galactus to your door is just very heavy and oppressive in my opinion. So we're going to move on. Fantastic Four Under Siege, $50 here. They're claiming it'll be around $60 in retail. You can usually find those for less. Just take that as it is. But you are going to be adding in 4 minis that are Kickstarter exclusive. So the Super Skrull, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, and The Thing, with 3 of these being zombie versions that either can be zombie enemies if you're playing Resistance or playable characters if you're playing just the core set. So this one I rank as the number 3 best expansion to get because you're going to be getting some additional tiles as well as the amount of playable characters that you're going to be able to get. I'm not including in terms of thematics, and so I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan, so I'm not looking at those kind of things. I'm just saying in terms of player value, I would rate this the 3rd best in terms of player value. The next one is the Hydra Resurrection, and I rate this at number 2, and it's close with number 1. But I think the Hydra Resurrection adds some of the most playable options as a standalone expansion than all the other ones. You're going to be including 6 double-sided tiles, so you're going to be adding a lot more variety to the game. You're going to have 25 character pieces for $50. You're adding a lot of additional content to your game. Unlike the MSRP of some of the other product, this one is definitely getting you the best. Plus, we're adding in these long shot zombies, which is going to add a different variety of zombies for us to deal with. And then we have the red characters, which are going to be like a boss battler, final villain for us to deal with. There's another expansion that deals with that as well, which maybe I could rate that a little higher, but maybe not. So, and that is the Red Skull here. So I feel like in terms of pure value, this one is very, very high. And if it wasn't for one of the recent releases, this would be number one because of the amount of playable content being delivered in the Hydra Resurrection. The Clash of the Sinister Stick 6, also coming at $50. The Spider-Man expansion comes with 14 character pieces. This one is number one. And it's number one because of an additional bonus feature called the Hero Teamwork Cards and Zombie Teamwork Cards. These cards basically enable a team versus team mode, which is going to be allowing players to play one group of players to be playing as the heroes characters, while another group of players to be playing as the zombie characters, and they can be going against each other now in a PvP like gameplay. And when I was reading through this, they're talking about players will be competing with 3 to 6 characters, each side attempting to eliminate the other while completing mini objectives. This almost sounds like Masters of the Universe Light to me, and I think it's a great value. For $50, you can basically add in another component to bring in all those playable characters back into making them even have more value. It is incredible value coming in here. We're also getting 4 double-sided tiles to add even more variety to our gameplay. I think Clash of the Sinister Stick, one, they're all classic heroes and villains. We all know these. You got the Venom. I think the Zombicide Venom here, with the just Kickstarter exclusive, is one of the coolest minis I've seen. In general, you're getting a lot of really good stuff. So Sinister Sticks, this is number one in terms of the value that I would say you would need to get if you are looking at this. But caveat there, you do need both of the core sets to have the teamwork and zombie teamwork cards work. So you have to have both the core and the resistance pledge to turn on the PvP mode. Okay, so I'm probably going to rate this at number 4, although I say it's kind of hard between 4 and 5 in terms of value. But I'm putting Guardians of the Galaxy set at 4. It's at $40, so it is cheaper than the other ones, but it's purely a character box, not adding any additional tiles or anything too exciting. But we are getting a Thanos action card, which is going to be very similar to the Red Skull that we have. But for the most part, this is going to be for people who really like Guardians of the Galaxy and the characters in that, and they want to be able to play those characters like Groot or Star-Lord. I can't even remember some of the characters. Gamora, whatever. So that's what this is going to be mostly for. But the fact that we're not adding any tiles or anything too exciting doesn't add too much more in terms of playability of the game other than just the character models, which we already have a ton of character models. And the final one is Sentinel Strike, coming in at $40, has the least amount of miniatures, individual miniatures, but you are getting these 3 massive Sentinels to play with. And I do believe you can actually play as the Sentinels as a hero card. I believe. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I've been told. And the other thing about this one, and the reason why I was debating between putting this between 4 and 5, is that it's Kickstarter exclusive. So the only way to get the Sentinels is through the Kickstarters. While all of these you can get at retail, you would be missing out on some of these exclusives, but you could potentially get them at retail. I don't know why you would not get them now. If you're planning on getting Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know why you wouldn't get it now, because you're going to be missing out on some of the key characters like Rocket, Nebula, and Drax. Like, these are like core characters. If you got Guardians of the Galaxy and you didn't have Rocket, it feels weird to me. So these are the 5 core boxes that are included in the pledge levels we talked above. We do have additional buys. The Artist Special Edition set, this is just additional minis. So these are nothing different than what we've already seen, but they're just different poses, alternate sculpts. I really wish I could speak English today. And I think they're cool. $25 is not bad, but it's not adding anything gameplay wise. This is just purely if you like the art sculpts. And then the final 2 are plastic tokens, 66 plastic tokens for $30. It's not bad. I've gotten the plastic tokens with Ankh and the last few games, and I've enjoyed having the plastic tokens, but I don't necessarily think they're needed. So just be aware of that. This is just blinging out. And extra dice, I always think it's a good idea to get at least one set of extra dice with every type of game I'm playing, because it just seems better. So I would recommend extra dice, but these are things you'd have to add later in the pledge menu. So the final thing I want to talk about are the stretch goals, because this was one of the biggest hangups of the original campaign when this first launched. Was CMON is known for just loading us with so much additional content that you just have to get it through the pledge man, or you have to get it through the Kickstarter, because if you're not going to want to buy this at retail knowing you missed all this stuff. So this is going to be a breakdown of all of the additionals. Now, I don't necessarily like the way they've laid this out, because this is going to be all monetarial ones that we've gotten: Moon Knight, Winter Soldier, Kingpin, Gamora, Elektra. We have some superhero ones down here: additional Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, Hawkeye. A lot of cool stuff. A lot more hero characters as well, too, to be aware of. We're still waiting for Doc Ock to come in. Then they have down here the daily rewards. So these were all monetary rewards. These are all going to be added to the core set expansion. So even if you just got just the core for 130, you're getting all this stuff, as well as these. These were the daily unlocks that came out. So we have a bunch of more characters, but you can definitely see Cyclops, Juggernaut, Psylocke, so many more. Incredible Dark Phoenix sculpture here. Just such a good sculpture. Magneto, one of my favorite characters. Really, really liking everything that we have here. And that is the finish of the daily unlocks. So we're going to go ahead and bring my face big again and wrap this up. Right now, I'm looking at, what was the name of the pledge that I was looking at getting? It's the Hungry Pledge or something. Right now, I'm probably going to get the Hungry Pledge, and I'll probably be adding in an extra set of dice and the plastics. I'm not worried about Galactus at all, but from what I'm seeing, there's enough here that I definitely want to get in on this. And I also know every CMON game that's been a Kickstarter version I've had has held its value, and I'm not nervous about this being dead weight on my wall or in my collection. So I'm super excited for it. Plus, I think the sculpts are just incredible. One of the reasons I didn't go in on Marvel United and X-Men United was because of the chibi look. And I was like, oh man, I wish this game had actual really cool detailed Marvel minis, because that's the game I want. And this is the game that they delivered. It's what I wanted. It's everything I need. And in fact, a lot of these minis can be used in other aspects, other games. So I'm super excited for that. I think you're not going to find better miniature quality than what we're getting right now for Marvel at the price we're getting. So I'm super excited. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comment section down below. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 before the end of the year. I would greatly appreciate you guys joining the community. If you haven't, make sure you thumbs up. We will talk to you all very soon. Peace.